Hello, and welcome to another episode of Winning Where It Matters. My name is Kyei Amoako, and it's a pleasure to have you join me again. A few weeks ago, I was in a group coaching session, and two people in the group said they were not leaders. They were sure that they were not leaders. They insisted, and I asked why they thought they were not leaders. And they explained that leaders are the people in charge, the people who give instructions, like the boss. And they were not the boss. They were not leaders of the organization. So they were not leaders. Now, they even went as far as to say that not everybody can be a leader. So, what was fascinating with this exchange was that earlier the group had discussed what leadership was, and they had shared things like leadership is influencing people to do things, leadership is leading yourself and others. They talked about leadership being creating structure that minimizes chaos. So, with all of this conversation, it was a little bit baffling to hear a part of the group saying they were not leaders. Now, as I dug a little deeper, I realized that it wasn't because they were not able, it wasn't an issue with ability to lead. It was an issue of the environment. There were they existed in environments where they've been told that they are not leaders. They've not been empowered to make decisions. They've not been empowered to let their voices be heard. And so they were operating with this mindset of because the people around them didn't see them as leaders, they didn't have any business seeing themselves as leaders. Now, here's the good news. We ended the session by all of us agreeing that even though we cannot all be leaders all the time, we can all demonstrate leadership behaviors all the time. We could all demonstrate leadership all the time. I want to dive a little deeper into this mindset of leadership because I think all of us could use some awareness, increased awareness about this, whether we are the ones in charge or whether we are just members of teams and we are being led by the perceived leaders. Depending on how you were raised, depending on the environment you've grown up in, both culturally, both at home and at work, you may see leadership differently. If you've been in environments where you've been encouraged to make decisions, you've been encouraged to let your voice be heard, you've been encouraged to take initiative, you will see yourself in leadership. And the opposite is true. If you've not been empowered to make decisions, if you've had to wait for your boss to tell you what to do, and if you do something without your boss telling you, you get into trouble, it's likely you may not see yourself in leadership. Whether we are the ones in charge or whether we are the ones being led, I think it's important for all of us to come to this awareness that leadership is a mindset. Leadership is more about a mindset than it is about authority. So, with the group that I was working with, we talked about ways you could demonstrate leadership even when you are not in charge. So, I want to share some of these behaviors, some of these things that help us demonstrate leadership, how we bring our leadership mindset to life, how do we practice leadership even when we are not in charge. Hopefully, this will help elevate your own leadership and help you help others that you lead better. First thing is leading yourself first, because leadership is in how you show up, right? And so to lead yourself first means honoring your commitments, doing what you say you will do. That lets people have confidence in your word. It's in showing up prepared and doing your best. I've been around a lot of leaders, and the ones that lead well never go into meetings without preparation. At the minimum, they want to know what the meeting is, what's the agenda, who are we meeting with, and why are we meeting. Those are behaviors that lets you lead yourself well. And when you mess up, when you make mistakes, own it. Don't just pretend it didn't happen. Own it and do your best to make it right. Because if you don't, and people take notice of that, and when you keep doing that, you don't own it, it erodes your credibility. And so when the day comes when you're actually even given the title and the position to lead, people don't trust you. The second thing that you could do to lead, even when you're not in power, is to influence. Influence, even when you don't have the authority to do that. John Maxwell talks about levels of leadership, and in that he talks about the first level of leadership is leadership by position. You're a leader because you've been given a position. But the highest form of leadership, when he talks about his levels of leadership, is leadership by influence, right? People are listening to you or following you not because of your authority or the position, but it's because of your influence, right? So as you demonstrate leadership, some of the things that you want to keep in mind is, how do you exert influence without authority, right? And some of it is in demonstrating competence, right? Doing things well so that people can count on you. Demonstrating competence, that's a really, really important way for people to feel like they want you on your team. People feel like they could follow you in confidence, even when you're not in charge. And another way that you could also influence is by expanding your network, growing your network. Because here's the thing: the more people you know, the more opportunities you get to demonstrate competence, the more opportunities you get to show up in ways that lets people build confidence and belief in you. The third thing that you could do to demonstrate leadership competencies and leadership behaviors is by solving problems, because leadership is in the impact that you make. Listen, there are a lot of problems, there are lots of things people are trying to navigate, and the more people you help, that's how you show leadership. The more you're helping people, you're showing leadership. And so to do that, I'll encourage you to focus on solutions and not problems. Don't bring problems to your boss or the person in charge and just tell them, yeah, we got a problem. Well, we got a problem, but I have some options or some ideas about how to bring solution to it. And if you are in charge, if you have a certain level of influence, empower other people. Empower other people, because the secret, well, not real secret, but the truth is, the more you empower people, the more you're multiplying your impact, because other people can help get things done, because you can't do it all by yourself, right? So you want to impact people by have a bigger impact by multiplying your effort, by empowering other people. So don't do it all. Find a way to get other people involved. So whether you are the one giving the instructions, or you are the one receiving them, or whether you're the one leading the team, or you are just a member of the team, you can lead. Because at the end of the day, leadership is less about authority and more about mindset and influence. I hope you found this content beneficial. If you did, please hit the like button, share it with others, and subscribe if you have not subscribed, and hit the notification button so you could be alerted when I post new content. As I always say, I believe in you, and I hope you believe in yourself too. I'll see you on the next one.